Ravindran sir, good evening. Ravindran sir. Ravindran sir, good evening. Sir, am I audible?
Good evening, Dr. Nandor. We welcome you to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development. We'll be starting our session in a minute. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022. On occasion of World Environment Month 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, and Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Sciences and Well-being. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Blessings of Almighty. We shall continue to today's session. I invite Mary ma'am to kindly introduce today's speaker. Mary ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
It gives immense pleasure for me to introduce my sister Vishalakshi. She's an entrepreneur, counselor, and her education qualification is BA Tamil, BSc Psychology, and now she's pursuing MSc Counseling and Family Therapy. And apart from that, she's a founding member in TNCCA, and she's a very very wonderful and humble human being. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mary ma'am, for your introduction. We wish you happy birthday, many happy returns of the day. God bless you. And we invite Vishalakshi ma'am to take over for your session on understanding development in infancy and childhood.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful opportunity. Good evening to one and all. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mary ma'am. Yes, you are my elder sister. Thanks for a warm welcome, and thanks for the opportunity you given here also. Sir, shall I share my screen? Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Yes.
You have been given co-host permission.
Host, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Start your video. You can start your video.
Yes, sir. I joined in two gadgets.
Okay. Both gadgets have been granted permission.
Yes, sir.
It's visible.
Yeah. Just a minute, sir. It's loading. Yeah, it's today's the beautiful topic also. I think so all will love to listen to this topic and talk about this topic also. Understanding development in infancy and the early childhood. Who all say the child, we don't want to interact with the child or don't want to understand the child. Nobody says, right? The childs of the blessings of God, and they are the pure souls. So we all love to interact with them. I would love to share my knowledge about this topic with you. See, friends, our human life cycle has divided in many phases. from childbearing stage, that means the pregnancy, and then the infancy, then early childhood, and then middle childhood and adolescence, and the young adult, and middle adult, and the senior citizens are the later stage. It goes on like this. In this stage, that first stage, we can say this childhood stage is very, very important, because this stage give impact, or this stage will lead a beautiful adult life for us. So we need to take care of this stage, very, very essential. Especially this infancy and the early childhood is very important. This stages impact is much will be in our latter stages. So we will try to understand this one. I think so. The screen is not moving. Just a minute. So, sorry, friends. My laptop is not cooperating with me. I think so. Yeah, it's good. The child development. The child development refers to the sequence of physical, language, thought, and emotional changes that occurs in a child from birth to the beginning of adulthood. The child development combines in all the domains, the physical, language, thought, and emotional. We can't say this domain is important and this domain is not important. We must concentrate in all the domains, and the holistic development is necessary for a good child development. As we said earlier, this is the domains of development: physical, cognitive, social, and language. Physical, we all know this is about our body conditions and our growth of our body. And the cognitive, humans, learning, memory, and thoughts, everything comes under this cognitive. And the social, the interaction between others. You see, we all are the social animal. The man is the social animal, right? So the movement with the social is also needed. So interacting with other peoples is also essential for the development, and it is also impact our lifestyles and all. And the language, the communication is very much important, right? From the cave time up to now, the communication is needed one for us to show our love or show anything, all the emotions. The communication is needed. So these all domains need to develop in all the stages. Okay, now the infancy stage, the beautiful stage, we can say. The infancy, the word we derive from the Latin, the language Latin. It means unable to speak or speechless. The child who did not speak, maybe the child, the 0 to 1 year, that time the child could not speak, right? That stage is called as the infancy stage. In this time, the birth giver has the responsibility to take care through the infancy period. We all know that time the mother will take care of that child very, very beautifully and very carefully also. And 0 to 2 months. Here, see, friends, I mentioned 0 to 2 months. In all the upcoming slides, I will say this month to this month, because we all know the development, everybody is subjective and also unique. So we can't say this day this development will come. If this development is not come on this day, they are in lacking some lacking in growth. We can't say like that. Sorry, excuse me. Because I say no, we are subjective. So 0 to 2 months in this time period, this growth will happen. For some people, it will be advanced. It will come in 1 year. Some people, it will be in the end of the 2 month. 1 month or 2 month. So here we can see this development in this period. According to some researchers and experiences, they frame some milestones. So I'm hearing here giving that milestone. In the end of that stage, if the child reached that milestone, we can say here that child is in the development path. The first one here we see, as we said earlier, we need to see the development in all the domains, right? In 0 to 2 months, the physical development. We all know the child will be lying in the same place. It will cry. It will just drink milk from its mom, and it's just poop. That's the thing it will do, right? This is the physical development in this stage. And the cognitive development, it just cry. It feel whatever in comfort. If it waited the bed also, it will cry. If it feel hungry also, it will cry. Any disturbance, anything happens, it feel pain, anything it happens, it will cry. The only thing here it will do is the cry. So the cognitive development and the language communication here is only crying. And the next one is the social development. In this stage, it started to identify some phases. It may be all the kids won't understand. It may be understand some phases, identify some phases, and it shows some emotion to some phases. That's all. Here, in this stage, we can't give any other diet other than mother's milk. The breastfeeding is very much important for the child's development. The World Health Organization and all other health practitioners were suggesting to give the mother milk. It is both good for the mother and baby. It gives a very much immune system. So this time breastfeeding is much, much important. And 3 to 6 months. This time, the physical development, the vision will be improved. It able to track the objects. If the object is moved from one side to another, it can understand the object is moving, and it will turn its head also. It neck muscles are developed, and they are able to sit with its with other support. Friends, it can sit with other support only. It can't sit alone. And the cognitive development, here the child learning is starting. It learned to put his thumbs, right? It will search. If you watch or observe any baby, you can understand in this period, it will search the thumb finger to suck, or any fingers to suck. The child is learning. It feels immense pleasure in thumb sucking. As per our Freud's theory also, in this time, the erogenous zone is sucking, the mouth, it's sucking. So it feel to suck the thumb very happily. And the language development, in this time, it will say ungu, uku, like that sounds it will come. If I can say in all the languages. The child may be in any language. They may be in Africa or Antarctica or India or anywhere. These words will be this ku or o or a. These sounds will be the first sounds of the kid. This will be the first one. Here the language is not coming. Any languages is not here coming. And the sensory development, as we saw in the physical development, the eyes here, the vision is very improved, and it can feel the sense of smell, taste and a touch feel also. You see, in this stage, if the child cries, the mom will go at once and she will just give a hug. The child at once stop the crying. The child can feel the mom's touch here. Sometimes in a sleep, if other than mom, somebody will touch us also, the child can understand that it will just push their hand, right? So the child now feels the touch of the moms and it can understand that one also. The social development, it smiles a lot. We see before in the stage, it was cry for all the things. Now also it will cry, but we can differentiate the cryings here. We can understand this cry is for uncomfortable. This cry is for hungry. We can understand this. A simple difference will be in this cry, and it learns to smile and it learns to laugh also. It loves to play the peekaboo game here, and we can say their legs in the air in the jovial state, right? The Alili Krishna's photo, if anybody see this that stage is this 3 to 6 months. The Krishna in the people tree leaf, and lovely baby Krishna will hold his leg in his hand, right? That stage is this one. And the 6 to 9, I'm sorry, in 3 to 6 months, we can diet. What we can take here is after the 4 months, before 3 months, you can't go for any other diets other than the breastfeed. Unless if the child have some problem or the mom has problem, with the consult of the doctor or the medical practitioner, we can move for other milk that they will suggest that one. But usually mother milk is the only thing in, before 3 months. From the 4th month, we can introduce some semi-solid foods. My simple suggestion, don't go for the packed foods. We can prepare some ragi milk and some health drinks with the advice of our practitioner. We can start, but start with little amount. The child will take some time to adapt for that solid food. We can introduce it in a meal. After that, we can increase the quantity and also the times we are giving. Like that, we can change. And also, don't introduce, my suggestion, don't introduce two taste or two dishes at a time, because sometimes some dishes will get allergic to the kid. We can't identify which dish is allergic to the kid. So first you give your food, and after the 15 days, the child adapt for that food, you move to the new food. We can give the bananas, and we can give mashed carrots, boiled carrots. Don't give raw foods in this stage, because their metabolism is not that much good in this stage. So give some smashed one, and also boiled vegetables you give in this stage. And the 6 to 9 months, in this stage, the child can sit properly. Before stage itself, it can sit. Now it starts to crawl. The next stage is coming, right? It sit and it saw and it exploring. It's now trying to crawl in 4 legs. And if he saw some pole or some stands or some stool or chair, it will try to hold and stand also. With that support, it try to stand. The language, now the language development will be its babble and laugh, and it try to imitate us, but the words won't come, but it will try to imitate. And the cognitive development, this time in before stage, it started to learning, right? Now it started to expect. See, some mom will say, if you lie down only, I will give the milk, that bottle, milk bottle I will give. So the child will be classical condition for this. The child will, what will the child do? If the mom comes with the bottle, at once the child go to its place and it lie down and ready to become ready to hold that bottle and have that milk. So the expectation is here coming. The child know to expect, and if it feels uncomfortable also, it expect it mom to hug. You can see some child, the father will come inside. After he coming inside, at once he will take the child and he will hug. So the child will expect whenever the father comes inside the home, it expect the child, the father must take him or her, and hug it. So this type of expectations will come in this time, and in this time the food we can give, we can introduce all the foods, but we can give it as small pieces. We can't give it as a tightly solid food. We can give a solid to semi-solid stage, in between stage we can give to them, and also we give it in a small pieces. And the sensory development, color vision and context will develop in this stage. See friends, they can understand the colors, right? So in diet also we can introduce the colorful diet. We can give the red, the carrot, smashed carrot a day, and the next day we can give the green leaves, boiled green leaves, smashes with rice we can give the next day, and we can introduce this one. This will make the child interesting to take the food. We can encourage the child to take it, to understand the colors and also to take the food. The social development, here the child will imitate the moods of the persons around them, and it can recognize the emotions and moods. See, some child will move from a place to some place. If it fall down, it at once turn its head and see it mom. If mom says Achisho, at once it start to cry. If mom says okay, it's okay, you go, then it will move on. The child can understand the emotions of the parents or the caretakers here, and it behave accordingly, right? And the 9 to 12 months. Here the child now can stand alone without support, and it can move simple steps also. Here my suggestion, if the child tries to walk, don't give that walking that wheels, right? We don't give that, because in that one the child just pushes the thing and it will move on. That is not good. We can say that nadavendi, I don't know in the English that word for that. In wooden it will be like that. In that the child will holds that one, and it press it legs and moves it. That will be with the wheels, so it will move. In this, the child will firmly keep its palm in the land, so the work will be very good, and it will learn the balance very quickly. And the language here, it imitate the sounds that hear, and it tries simple words, single words and all, saying mama, papa, tata, and some kids can say atte, like that. Some now the language, their mother tongue will, they will say some words in the mother tongue, but simple words it will say. It can say yes or no and everything. And this time the sensory development their senses are much more mature in these stages. It will identify and recognize, and it will enjoy that senses and all. It can understand the smells, different varieties of smells, and it can understand the taste of all the varieties. In these stages it can we can say this is the favorite food of that baby, this is not the favorite food. We can understand the favorites foods and all. The social development, it's able to interact with others and with themselves. They try to express their own needs, like what they need. It can express, I'm feeling hungry, I need food, I want to go to restroom. It can say these type of things to its caretaker. And do's. To this infancy period, what are the do's and what are the don'ts we need to do and we don't do? First, I frame here do's. Accept the help from others like a family member or a nanny. See, friends, always the new mothers will always think we are the only one person responsibility for that infant. We need to take care of that. They will take all the responsibility by themselves, and they will frustrate in a time. Don't do that one. It's a family thing, no? So share some responsibility to all the family members, and get help from them also. See, in this infancy time, the mother's health is also important, because the mother is breastfeeding here, so she will also get tired. So getting help from others is not the bad one. Get help from others, take some rest. And the mother's food also must contain all the nutrients, because she's breastfeeding the child will get all the nutrients. The mother will become weak, so she will plan her food also according to a healthy balanced diet. And the next one, always clean your hands before holding the baby. This is one must important one. We must clean our hands and then hold the baby. And in this pandemic, it is very, very essential. We must be strict with all the persons, whoever wants to hold the baby, and strengthen your bond with the infant. See, friends, if you want to interact your child very friendly in your teenage, in their teenage, the rapport must be there. That rapport must build from here. It won't come in the teenage. We must build from here gradually. The rapport will be strong, and the child will be very much easily bonded with us, and it will share everything with us. So it will be easy for us to build that rapport from here itself. This provides support in the neck till they learn to do it. This is for that 3 month and 4 months babies. So give support to that baby and hold it. Baby's neck and hold it. Keep the infant close to your body to provide comfort and soothe whenever necessary. The child can understand the security feel by this mom's hug only. So please give that abundantly, so that the child will feel secure. This feel will lead that holistic wellness. It will lead to a development path to the child. And the mother must be learn the basics of bathing, cleansing, changing diapers, feeding, and burping needs. Everything the mother must need to know. Don't depend on this. You can take help from others, but don't depend on others. Don't. What are we can't do? See, friends, do not leave the baby crying. Although the child always cry, we can't leave the child just cry. We must soothe it so that it will feel secure. As I said earlier, the security feeling is much important, and you don't leave the child, infants with the elder child. Just you see, watch it. Don't leave the child with them. That is also very bad thing. And this play, please don't do that one. Throw the baby in the air with air and holding it. Please don't do that. That is harmful for the baby. Do not shake your baby in frustration or while playing. Hold the baby very elegantly. They are the blessings of God, right? So take care of them very gently and carefully with very loving and care. Do not force feed the infant when they are not willing to complete the bottle's milk, and take it as a sign of satiating hunger. This statement is not only for the infant, it for all the stages. The mother must need to know to stop compelling the kid to have their food. The child let decide the quantity of the food it must take, but you please be sure with the quality of the food. You give all the nutrients contained food, the child must decide. This habit is very much good. Now I can see so many mothers will, what they will do, they will fill the plate with so much of food, and they will compel and give that food to the kid. That is a very bad thing. The child will get aversion of that food. It won't take the food. By knowingly or unknowingly, the child don't feel to have the food. Let the child decide the quantity of the food, and don't fight or fluctuate or anger before the kids. See, the kids sees our us as a models. They all learn from us. They are seeing us, right? So instead of teaching them, we follow some rules and positive patterns. The child will easily adapt for that one. So it is most important. And the toddlers. This stage, we can say that after the 12 months and up to 2.5, we can say this time it will be a really, it will be an energetic time. The child will be very energetic. Now they learn to walk, right? So they will run, they will move from this place to this place. They won't stay in a place. They always love to move to all the places. This we can say this toddlers stage as a terrible twos. The mother must need to be energetic this time. So this time also the diet of the mother is must be a very good one, and taking rest also good one, because she need to run behind the toddler, right? And the toddler will explore new things and learn things, and they want to share with us also. So give much time to them in this stage. The young toddlers, we can say the young toddlers and the older toddlers. The young toddlers is the 12 to 18 months old. They will explore and discover. I think so. Slides is not moving, right, sir? I mean, the young toddlers.
Now it's two
Slide.
slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, sir. What happened? I don't know. I have some problems with my laptop. Sorry, friends. So now is it moving, sir? Is it moving, sir? I'm moving.
No,
Don't
no,
slide.
Vishal, it's not moving.
It is in now toddlers. Shall I continue with this, sir, or shall I stop sharing and once again I share this one, sir?
You can try, ma. If doesn't work, you can continue.
Okay, then just a minute. Yeah, stop sharing. I think so problem with my laptop only. Sorry, friends, for this one. Sir, is it my screen sharing now, sir?
No, Vishal.
Sorry, yaar. Sorry, I will try a 2 minute. If not, I will continue with that one without slides itself. Huh? I think so. Sir, shall I move with without PPT, sir?
Okay, ma'am. As per your time.
Okay, sir. I think
Yes,
so.
Vishal, you can move it.
Yeah, the time is going. I feel bad for that. Sorry, sir.
Or let me try from my side.
Yes, sir. I'm in the slide, toddler slide.
Can you email me the PPT?
Yeah. Sir, you are having my PPT, right, sir?
Sir, I sent you to WhatsApp, sir.
Okay, sir. You try from your side, sir. Up to that, I will move with this one, sir. Without slides itself. Sorry, friends, sir. Or
Sir, I sent you.
But we cannot open WhatsApp on this system. Can you try sending it to email, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. Actually, my laptop is not cooperating. It's an older one.
Sir, I've sent you an email also, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Just 10 minutes back or 20 minutes back, I sent you, sir.
It's okay. We will move without the PPT up to it. Sir will try from his side also. We can imagine a kid, right? Without PPT also, we can imagine that stages of the kid and we can understand, right? What I'm saying. Now we are talking about the young toddlers, 12 to 18 months old. In this, their physical, how it will be their physical development, they can feed themselves. They can pick the food and they will take the food by themselves. They will hold the spoon and they can drink the cup. Drinking from a cup, it will easily they can do. That meant their fine motor skills is developed now. See, friends, the fine motor skills meant the fingers movements were developed for them. They can pick the smaller things in the land, whatever in the land, smaller bits they can pick. That meant that their fine motor skills are developed, so they can hold the pencils also in this stage, and everything. They stand up by themselves, walks holding your hand and then on their own. They can crawl up and down the stairs. They always do that. They love that also. they develops food likes and dislikes in this stage. They tries to throw a ball. You see, if they trying to throw a ball meant their gross motor also developed in this stage. They scribbles with crayons and take off their clothes, and they know the unbutton. That means the fine motor skills is good in this stage. And the emotional things in this young toddlers, 12 to 18 months meant. Ma'am, am I audible only, ma'am? Right, ma'am?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah, in this young toddler stage, 12 to 18 months, the emotional milestone will be they will be attached to some toys. They will be attached to some things. They will say, this is my favorite pillow. They will feel this photo is their favorite one. They will attach it to that one. They can say the favorite dishes also in this place, in this stage, right? The mood swings and tantrums and everything comes in this stage. And the social milestone, they develops the fear of, yeah, sir, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Next slide, sir. I mean, young toddlers, 12 to 18 months old, milestone social, sir. The next one, sir. And the next one. Social one, sir. The next one. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. See, friends, they develops a fear of strange objects and events. Up to now, up to before this stage, they won't feel fear. That emotion they won't have. They don't know the difference of the light and the darkness. Now they feel that fear. And also, see, before that, if see an ant or anything, they will see it as an object only. Now they feel it as a insect. They feel it as a thing. They will fear for that one. They feel anxious when separated from parents. As I said, they will bonded with the parents, they emotionally, and they will feel secure with the parents. So after this time, if they are separated, they will feel something happened to me or something will happen to father. That separation anxiety will come to them. They likes to watch and be with other children. So this is the stage we can take them to the parks and we can leave them to play with other children. But we can live with them, but we need to take care of them there also, because they know only just simple things. They will imitate others. That may irritate the elder children. They can't cope up with the elder children's play. So we need to take care of them there also. They will imitate the clapping hands and sweeping with a broom. They will imitate. That meant the sweeping with a broom meant they will imitate us. If you're doing a thing, they will just imitate us. They love to imitate us. We can see some children will do whatever the father did. If the father is wearing his spectacles, he will always do touch the spectacles. The child without the spectacles, the child will also try to do that one. It sees the father's mother always, it observes. We will think the child is there only, what it can know, but the child always observe the parents and all the family members. So it observe and try to imitate that one. So we the parents and the caretakers and all the family members must be very much cautious in this period, because the child is observing us. And this starts to show constant concern for others. Yeah, it will know it love to move with others, and it not able to share, because it have connected to that thing. It won't share to others. And the cognitive thinking and communication in this young toddlers one. So the next slide, sir. It begins to know that things exist even if they cannot see them. This we can say as the object permanence. See, if the child closes its eyes with the hand, it thinks that the earth will become a dark. It don't think we are only closed our eyes. The earth is bright only. It can't understand that one. That we can say that as the object permanence. If we all think so. All of us, we played this trick before the kid. We'll show some simple thing before the kid, and we will say abracadabra or anything. Kakatukipuch. We will hide it, just roll our hands behind us, and we say it's gone. And the child will wonder before this stage. Not now. Now it will learn. Hey, this man is something doing. It will comes behind us and say, hey, you are having this in your hand oneself. Don't cheat me. It learned that the object will exist if they cannot see them also. And it likes to look for the dropped or hidden objects. It loves to explore. This shows it loves to explore all the places, all the objects. It points to ask and to show interest in things. These moms can say, feel this one. Always the child will ask questions about anything, right? Why this? What this? The child wants to try to explore, wants to know all the things. It follows simple instructions, so we can teach them simple habits. We can teach them the table manners, because it can understand in this stage. In this stage, please make the kid to have a meal together with family, at least a meal, because with this it will learn how to behave with all the members. It will learn this member is behaving with this member like this, so we need to behave with all like this. It will learn, and we can teach to brushing. We can teach simple things to do by itself, and the child will love that also. It says more words every month. You see, some child will speak very fastly. Some child will starts to speak itself very slowly. Don't bother about it. Here, their family heredity also plays. If their grandma or their aunt started their speech lately, that may also come to the kid also. So we must see our family history also for this development of the some late developments. We can see that it points out to familiar objects or body parts when asked. We can teach them eyes, nose, and everything. We can teach them, so that the kid also will be interesting, and the kid will learn also. See, if the kid is ready to learn, we must give the stuff. If not, it will learn whatever it get. So we must engage the kid, and we must encourage the kid to learn things. Simple stories, picture books. And nowadays, a lot more books are coming. We can say touch and feel books are coming. We can see that in net also. In a place, the fur will be pasted. So soft title, the title will be soft. Below that, the fur will be pasted. The kid can touch and feel the fur, and it will feel soft is this one. Like that, so many books were coming, like the touch and feel books were coming, and we can the auditory books were coming. So we can give that books, introduce that books to this age of kids, so that they will be very interesting, and they will sit to a place, and they will enjoy that one. And the next one, the older toddlers. This one is 18 months to 2 years old, the thinking stage. Ravindran sir, next slide, sir. In this time, their autonomy will be developing. They're learning that they are a separate person from you. So this time, the child learned much, right? If we are giving adequate knowledge, whichever the child want to learn, the child will feel little confidence and it can move from the parents for a little time. If the child moves also, it for a half an hour or for a 5 minutes, it will come and see the father or mother, whoever, they are here only now, they are here only now, it will come and see. The next one, so next slide. The older one, 18 months to 2 years old. In this time, the milestones, physical milestones, it walks up and down the stairs with help. If there is any poles, it will hold the poles, and also it will um, uh, um, uh, it will walks in the stairs. In this time, we need to take care and we must be cautious, because sometimes they will lose their balance and they will fall down. That will lead to some serious problems. So take care of them. And kicks a ball while standing. This meant, you see, the kicks a ball while standing. It's a very simple thing, right? We feel like that. But for the kid, it's a very big achievement, because they now learn to balance. They learn to balance, to stand by themselves, and now they are kicking in your leg. They learn to balance in your leg and kicking in your leg. It's a big achievement, right? And run, they will run, and they like riding toys. That means they want to move from one place to another. They don't want to sit a place. They always want to wander from a place to a place. You can easily watch that in this stage kids. They climbs on and over furniture. These everything, these all things shows that that child want to explore. If we if we saying don't do to that kid, that child's exploring way is disturbing. So make the child to explore, but make some safety measures for that. Allow the child to explore, but make some safety things. It scribbles and stacks 2 to 3 cubes, one by upon one after one. It will stacks 2 to 3 cubes. It feed themselves with a spoon, but it can't hold. It will make it messy also. But leave the child to do the things by itself. If it is not doing properly also, it is good for the child's development. We all doesn't know everything by birth. We all are in the learning process. The child is in the learning process. So allow them to do their small things by themselves. And the next one, the older toddlers, milestone, emotional milestones. Uh, they explore and play from the secure base of the parent and caregiver. That means it want to play or explore everything before the eyes of the parent. It always watch. The parent is here, right? The parent is here, right? It always watches, because if the parent or the caregiver would, it feel it is insecure for it. I say earlier, no, it now it knows the fear also. So it feels secure if the parent or caregiver is around them. It is learn the tantrums very much, and it feel tired also. So the morning nap is very important for the kid. So plan that one. The early wake ups and early night sleeps and in between naps is very much important for their development. It recognizing emotions in themselves and others. Um, if the mom shows the angry face, the child will understand. If happy face also, it will understand, right? It shows affection to all. Up to now, it expect others to hug. Now it will hug other kids. So it learned, it watches us, observed us, and it learned to do the same with others. It has more fears and anxieties, including night terrors that will be peak in the 2 years old. So don't frighten the kid. For the play, don't frighten it, because it will disturb it in the nights. So always make it feel secure. And it's get fluctuated when they are not able to do things which can lead them to hit or slap or bite. This what we all say, that temper tantrums, right? And finds comfort in routineness. See, friends, the child now is adapting to the new things and everything. It wants to explore and learn. But please be firm with that routine. Morning must, the child must wake up in this time and give the food in this time. That routine will make the child very comfort. Don't disturb it, because if we want to go outside also, don't disturb it. Plan our outsiding plans and everything, tours or trips according to the child's routine. And the next one, so the next one, this one is the milestone in the social thing. It feels strong ownership and keeps toy to themselves. We already learned the child feels attachment to some toys and some favorite things, right? Now it feels strong ownership to that. It will say, this is my plate, don't touch it. It will say like that. So now it develops that ownership, and it finds it hard to share. Because of that ownership feel, it finds hard to share. So if in this stage we leave that child in the same age kid, they will fight. So we can leave the child with the elder child or the younger child, but anything we must be with that kid. The caregiver must be with that kid and observe, because up to this stage our observation is much needed, because the child will feel secure if we are with it only. It recognizes themselves and their family in pictures also. Up to now it can understand from the persons only. Now it can connect it, the persons with the pictures. If it shows the apple and it shows it in the book also, it connect. It will think this is the same apple what we are eating. So it connect the picture and the thing. So next one, the older toddlers, 18 months to 2 years, this time the cognitive and the thinking and communication. This is very much very essential time and the very good time it is developing. See, this time because of this exploring and so many questions and observing, the child will learn much. So here the cognitive development is very important. We must give some stuffs to that, give some simple puzzles to that. The child may do or it did not do. You just give the puzzle, leave it to explore, give some things voluntary to the kid to explore, and you please give company to it, company to the kid. You sit with that kid so that the kid will get interest to make that puzzles. Here there, it is doing correct or wrong is not important. The child is doing that, meant the child is exploring, that is the thing. And stimulate the child by asking some questions, which color it is, or ask the child, pick that green color, pick the red colors, separate the sort out the colors separately. You can so many plays are coming. We need to choose cautiously and give to that kid. And here the regarding to the language, it begins to use two-word phrases, and it enjoys and moves to music. So we can teach the child rhymes, simple rhymes, and we can say simple words, simple prayers, and everything we can teach. The child learns very much enjoy this hide and seek game in this stage. So next one, the next stage is the preschooler stage. The preschooler stage, that may be 2.5 stage, that two after the 2 to 3.5 we can say. This time, actually in our Indian system, the 3.5 is the right age they will start the kindergarten. Before that meant now the pre-KG is now, but before that one the pre-KG is not. Now it is that time is the preschooler stage. In this stage, the children's know what did their likes and what they did not like, and they will be adapting, learn to adapt for the new situation, and they learn to see the emotions in the others, see and understand the emotions in the people's before them. And this time we can leave the child for some time in the schools or in the any crashes. Nowadays so many places are avoid, we can get. But friends, please be sure, don't leave the child from the day to night. Don't leave so much of time, because the child, if separated, it will be affected. But after we will some particular time, it will come, it will feel secure, it will think mom will leave here and she will come and pick. If we leave the child for the full time in the, if we pick the child when it is sleeping, it don't know the mom came and picked me, so it will feel unsecure. So it will be very much emotionally, the child will be affected. So this stage we need to separate the child, but very systematically desensitize the child for that one. I can see many schools doing this one. They will ask the parents also come to the school for the pre-KG, leaving the child, and they ask the parents also stay there for an hour for some 2 or 3 days. After that, they ask the parents to leave the kid and go and just pick them after an hour. So the child first with the parents, they are there, so they are adapting to that situation. Now the adapting is over, then they making the parents and child separation now, and they now the child is adapted to this environment, so it feels some secure. After some time only it realize, oh, the place is right, but where is our parents? Now it feels too insecure. That time the parent will come and pick up. So the child says, oh, okay, my parent will come and pick. Like that, then they will increase the time, 1 or 2 hours, 1.5 hours, and 2 hours. So the child systematically desensitized to this separation. This will works very good. The child will adapt to this situation and to this system very beautifully. So this one is very essential. In this stage, regarding the food, we can give all the foods, whatever we are taking, but be cautious with the nutritions. But don't give the packed foods. Don't introduce the packed food food, because if we not introduce also, knowingly or unknowingly, the child will get to know that packed foods and everything. Please give the food, whatever you do in the home, please give the same food to the kid, so the kid will get all the nutrients with that one, and it will feel happy also. And please maintain a family meal with the kid, so the kid will learn to have the eating habits with other members. And this time, the taller, shorter, bigger, smaller, everything will be very, very subjectively, it will be differ to each and every kid. Here the family heredity speaks. If the father is tall, the kid also will tall in sometimes. Sometimes the growth will be variant. Some kids grow up to this stage very fastly, tall, then it will stop, then after some time it will stop. So it will all varies for each other. Don't compare the kid to other kid. And the preschoolers, they know to manage emotions. As I said earlier, they develop empathy with others. They learn, if we push a child down, the other child also feel hurt. This empathy feel will comes in this stage. We must teach them also. Sometimes they did not know. We must teach them. They can accept and learn that one also. It's take initiative, it planning and acting on their own thoughts and ideas. It feel capable and developing skills to do more and more on their own. So leave them to do their things by themselves in this stage. and the young children, this we can say this 3.5 to 5, that stage we can say. Most of the places, most of the countries, in this age only they were starting the education. Up to now, we don't think this is the very important stage. Up to now, it's a very simple stage. Up to now, we learn the life skills. Now they are starting the education. So, and they are implementing that life skills in the educational places and all the places. So here the education is starting. In this stage, they not only ask why, but also they will ask what if. They want to learn, they want to plan. What if it is not happen, what will be happen? They will think like that. Please, they will ask so many questions to us, but try to give answers to that all those questions. At least for whatever questions you possible, you just give the answers, so that their questions will be answered. They will feel happy and they will think much and much. This will be very good for the cognition and for their education and everything. This will be very good. This development is much needed. So the next one, the 5 oldest, they know the identity and the power stage. They start to know who they are and how they fit into the world. Ravindran, sir, the next slide, sir. And they recognize personal power. Okay. The next slide one, sir. Okay. It recognize, they learn that they have control over their, yes sir, correct, over their actions, and that their behaviors have an effect on others. So they learn how to behave here. If we hurt the child, what will happen to the child? That empathy will be to them. So they will learn how to behave with the child, how to behave nicely with the child. In this stage, our actions will be very important. It absorbs our actions and it implement it, that actions with all other persons. So our performance, our actions, our attitudes must be positive one, so that only the child can do the positive actions. We can't teach the child that much easily, right? We can, but the child can learn from us. So you please change by yourself. That will give you a positive attitude to the kids. You be positive. And it begin to enjoy the process of figuring things out and solving the problems. So only it is asking so many questions, right? If we're answering the questions, it learn to solve the problems and all. And I think so. I came to the end of the session. Thank you. So the next slide. Yes, sir. This is my thoughts about this topic. If you have any queries, I'm open to. Sir, the floor is yours now.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. You have in detail explained about various developments in childhood. Very well presented. Participants, if you have any queries, comments, observations, feel free to share in chat box, or you can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself. Yeah, Mary.
Hi, Vishal. You have mastered the subject here today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, no, every slide you give an explanation, not everybody gives that. They'll be telling 1 or 2 sentences, but really you have done not 100%, 200% justice. I'm very happy that I brought you here. So you've done very good. My heartily congratulations to you. I have no doubts because you explained so clearly, and it imbibed your personal experience as a mother also, how you would have taken care of your son. So in your personal experience also, I could see as a mother. So your son is very gifted to have a mother like you. So I can see.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You always understanding me. And thank you.
Not
Thanks
only
a
this
lot,
is,
ma'am.
I have studied psychology, development psychology. This is only come, but you in this slide you embedded your mother's feelings also in this. So your mother's, your child is son is very gifted, and you've done
Yeah.
200% justice to the topic. I'm very happy, and I hope to come to our sessions more often. All the
Thank
best.
you.
God bless you. May always you be smiling like today, every day.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Not
may you win in all that you do.
thank you, ma'am. Thanks for this abundant blessings. Not only my child, I'm also gifted that he is my son because he is a very loving child.
Okay. Take care, and God bless you, you and son and brother also.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your wonderful comments. And any other participants, if you would like to share, feel free. You can unmute yourself. Then use your chat box to share your feedback if you are having difficulty in sharing. Okay, then there are no queries. There are few appreciation messages in the chat box. So, thank you, ma'am, for joining us. And on behalf of Sri Holistic Health Foundation in India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing, we wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions in the future. It was really wonderful session. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me this beautiful opportunity to share my thoughts regarding this topic, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Today, we are also commemorating World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And this year, especially the World Abuse Awareness Day, in short known as WEAAD, coincides with two important events. First is the start of United Nations Decade of Healthy Aging 2021-2030, and this marks the beginning of 10 years of concerted, catalytic, and sustained collaboration with diverse stakeholders on improving lives of older people, their families, and their communities. The second is the 20th milestone of the Second World Assembly on Aging, and the fourth review and appraisal of implementation of Madrid International Plan of Action on Aging, in short known as MIPAA. These provide an opportunity to generate renewed momentum for the international action to advance the aging agenda. So we can see uh, the aging population is increasing across the world due to various factors that are contributing, like healthy lifestyle and healthy food habits and availability of medical and health infrastructure facilities and longevity, all are increasing the lifespan of the individual. So more and more population who are aged are growing, and we can see between 2019 and 2030, The number of persons aged 60 years or over is projected to grow by 38% from 1 billion to 1.4 billion. So globally outnumbering youth. So the aged population will outnumber the youth population by next 7 years and by the end of this decade. And this will also be the greatest and most rapid in the developing world, and recognizing the greater attention needs to be paid to the specific challenges affecting older persons, including the field of human rights. You know, uh, there are certain challenges, especially when we are dealing with the elder persons. Now, there is one issue that is especially there today, that is elder abuse. And it is a problem that exists in both developed countries and developing countries also, yet is typically underreported globally. The prevalence rates or estimates exist only in selected developing countries or developed countries, ranging from 1 to 10%. Although the extent of elder mistreatment is unknown, its social and moral significance is obvious. As such, it demands a global multifaceted response, one which focuses on protecting the rights of older persons. So, approaches to define, detect, and address elder abuse need to be placed within a cultural context and considered alongside culturally specific risk factors. For example, in some traditional societies, older widows are subjected to forced marriages, while in others, isolated older women are accused of witchcraft. From a health and social perspectives, unless both primary health care and social service sectors are well equipped to identify and deal with the problem, elder abuse will continue to be underdiagnosed and overlooked. And ageism, you can see around 1 in 6 people 60 years and older experience some form of abuse in community settings during the past 1 year. And rates of elder abuse are high in institutions such as nursing homes and long-term care facilities. 2 in 3 staff reporting that they have committed abuse in the past year. And rates of elder abuse have increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. Elder abuse can lead to serious physical injuries and long-term psychological consequences. Elder abuse is predicted to increase as many countries are experiencing rapidly aging populations. So the global population of people aged 60 years and older will be more than double from 900 million in 2015 to about 2 billion in 2050. So with this increasing population, there is a pressing need for even the health professionals and different community social workers, psychologists, counselors, and even the governments and various NGOs to focus on this elder abuse, because this is going to be one of the major problems in coming days. And population aging is poised to become one of the most significant social transformations of the 21st century, with implications for nearly all sectors of society, including labor and financial markets, the demand for goods and services such as housing, transportation, and social protection, as well as family structures and intergenerational ties. So, as already this informed, the decade of healthy aging, that is 2021 to 2030, is an opportunity to bring together government, civil society, international agencies, professionals, academia, the media, and the private sector for 10 years of concerted, catalytic, and collaborative action to improve the lives of older people, their families, and communities in which they live. We are not getting much into the statistics. But in brief, let's watch a few videos that portrays the present situation and about Elderly Abuse Awareness Day.
So what's this all about?
Cacheta games.
I'm too old for this.
You just want me to say what people say about me.
Weird question, I guess.
My teacher says you'll grow out of it. It's just a phase.
It was never a phase. I never grew out of it.
I guess I'm too reckless, I don't know.
People like to talk very loudly to me.
They say I don't think things through.
You're looking still good for your age.
I'll figure it out when I'm older.
You are having a senior moment.
When the focus is on my age,
Life seems to get a little bit harder.
It feels like I'm not given a chance.
I need to keep up.
Or get out of the way.
I lack experience.
Or too much experience.
I'm baggage.
Only weighing people down.
Looking at my age
like it is a disease.
Where I work, no one takes me seriously.
it makes me feel powerless.
And it hurts.
When people see only my age.
The Decade of Healthy Aging offers an unprecedented opportunity to work together across sectors, stakeholders, disciplines, and regions to harness the benefits of population aging and leave no one behind. Improving the lives of older people, their families, and communities requires that we access, share, and generate a wide range of knowledge relevant to achieving the decade's vision. Such knowledge is produced every day, but few people know how to find what is available, how to request help when something is missing, and how to contribute their own knowledge. The platform for the Decade of Healthy Aging is a collaborative digital space that supports the decade by making diverse experiences, expertise, and knowledge on aging available for everyone, all in one place. The platform includes the voices of older people and other stakeholders, resources and support tools like publications, training programs, and more, directories and online communities of organizations and people you can connect with, and information on research projects, case studies, funding opportunities, and other ways of sparking innovation. The platform, which will continue to grow in response to all of our needs, offers a unique space where everyone is welcome to find, share, and produce all the knowledge they need to make the Decade of Healthy Aging a success.
In 2020, the number of people aged 60 and above rose to over 1 billion. That's almost 15% of the world's population. Each one an older person who wishes to live a long and healthy life. This means being able to meet everyday basic needs for food, shelter, and clothing. Stay mobile and get where they want or need to go. It means being able to build and maintain relationships, as well as continue to learn and make decisions. And it's also about being able to contribute to family and communities. This is healthy aging. It requires that our mental and physical capacities are maintained and supported by our environments. So even if our capacities decline, we can still do what we value. We can all contribute to adapting and strengthening these environments, working together to build up evidence, learning from countries, existing programs, and of course, from older people themselves. If we measure, understand, and act together, we can make sure everyone has the same opportunity for healthy aging wherever they may be. This is the vision of the Decade of Healthy Aging. The baseline report for the decade gives us a snapshot of where we are in 2020 and where we aim to be by 2030. We must work together and act now in order to reach all older people.
The world marks the 30th anniversary of the International Day of Older Persons, as we reckon with the disproportionate and severe impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has wrought on older persons around the world, not only on their health, but on their rights and well-being. As we seek to recover better together, we must make concerted efforts across the Decade of Healthy Aging, 2020-2030, to improve the lives of older persons, their families and communities. The potential of older persons is a powerful basis for sustainable development. More than ever, we must listen to their voices, suggestions and ideas to build more inclusive and age-friendly societies.
To foster healthy aging, we need to work together. Older people must be central to and fully engaged in this collaboration. The countries of the world who are our member states have endorsed the Decade of Healthy Aging, a collaboration to improve the lives of older people, their families, and their communities. In practice, that means keeping alert for ageism and supporting older people by engaging them in the community, providing responsive healthcare and quality long-term care for those who need it. We hope that this will be taken up by the entire UN system. Thank you all for your commitment to ensuring older people receive the opportunities, the respect, and the care they deserve.
As the international institution for public-private cooperation, the World Economic Forum is putting its full weight behind the topic of healthy aging and longevity to create a world in which everybody can live a longer and healthier life. As someone who would fit into the category of older persons, but who looks back to nearly 20 years of a healthy and very productive life after the retirement age, you can imagine that I'm here today with you, not only with my brain, but with my heart. We would like to affirm again that the World Economic Forum is fully behind the initiative of the Decade of Healthy Aging and its utmost significance to current and future generations.
The IFA and its members pledge through the next 10 years to be an ambassador for the decade by conducting our work through the lens of the 4 action areas, by building bridges across sectors and disciplines toward a common approach, and by helping to build the capacity and capability of others through unconditional sharing and collaboration. The decade must be a unifying action, bringing together leaders and influencers in member states, as well as those working at the coalface in current and emerging issues. Unity happens when we walk together. Civil society, like the International Federation on Aging, have a responsibility to reach across the aisle and be strong partners with government. And in doing so, we are the window to the soul of a nation to ensure that no one is left behind.
HelpAge International welcomes the Decade of Healthy Aging and its commitment to ensuring that the voices of older people are at the heart of the design, implementation and monitoring of actions. The decade is now even more crucial as COVID-19 highlights the importance of investment and sustainable actions to foster healthy aging. For the health, well-being and inclusion of older people everywhere, for communities now and for communities in the future, it is critical that governments, international organisations, the media and private sector all support the decade. At HelpAge International, we know older people's leadership will be vital for the success of the decade. Supporting them to have their voices heard and to be agents of change will help provide the systemic transformation that is needed.
The recent pandemic has had a major impact on older people. It's also highlighted the need for better research and data. Cochrane Campbell Global Aging Partnership produces high quality, high priority, systematic reviews of all available evidence. We also identify evidence gaps and develop methods for evidence synthesis. These evidence syntheses can inform decision making and policy development aimed at improving the lives of older people, their families and communities. However, there are major gaps, and the Decade for Healthy Aging will allow us to focus on research and innovation for improving the lives and well-being of older people. The Cochrane Campbell Global Aging Partnership pledge our commitment to the Decade of Healthy Aging, continuing our work with the International Consortium on Evidence and Metrics to strengthen research, data and innovation aimed at accelerating the impact on the lives and health and well-being of older people.
We keep our aspirations for healthy, joyful aging, even as we fundamentally rethink how we see, treat, and include older people in society. Let us learn from the pandemic. Let us uncover and end age-based discrimination once and for all, and promote intergenerational solidarity. We wholeheartedly support the Decade of Healthy Aging because it offers a renewed path to galvanize concerted action, to better the lives of older people in their communities, and to leave no one behind. If we make this crisis a turning point, then older people will enjoy a more just and equal world, one with health, well-being, and dignity to be enjoyed by all at all ages. Thank you.
The wealthy world is aging fast. In 1950, around 1 in every 12 people in high-income countries was over 65. By 2050, it's expected to be more like 1 in 4. And it's storing up a big problem.
It is a feat that we can live longer and that we can enjoy being alive for longer, but it's expensive.
When people retire, they start to cost society more money, and the costs will soon be unsustainable.
What's becoming increasingly clear is that the three-stage model of life, where you educate, you work, you retire, is fundamentally broken.
Current approaches to care for the elderly are a massive drain on society's resources.
If you look at it from an economical perspective, we are spending too much money on doing the wrong things.
And these mistakes cost more than just money.
I don't feel that the older population are valued. I think we may be an inconvenience.
So how can societies provide high quality but affordable care for their growing elderly populations, both today and into the future? Yamakita, Japan. News crews have been sent to cover the final graduation ceremony at Miho Elementary School. What makes this national news is that 12-year-old Reiki Kodama is the only pupil in his year group. The 146-year-old school will close after Reiki's graduation. The town's population has dropped by around 30% over the past 3 decades, and there simply aren't enough pupils to keep a school open. Japan is the oldest nation on Earth, with the highest proportion of elderly people in its population. The changing shape of societies in the developed world is clearly shown by UN population data. In 1950, there were more than double the number of people in their 20s compared with those in their 60s. But today, the number in their 60s has nearly tripled. The number of children and retirees relative to those of working age is known as the dependency ratio. When this changes, it can mean that there are fewer workers to support the elderly, which has serious economic consequences.
An ageing population, of course, brings lots of good and exciting things, but it's expensive. The cost of pensions, the cost of healthcare, which is largely spent on people in their last years of life, it's very costly.
When people retire in their 60s, they tend to spend less, pay less in taxes, and cost society more. A shrinking workforce can also cause GDP growth and investment to slow, which threatens economic stagnation. Some countries, such as France, have made repeated attempts to shake up their pension systems, including by raising the retirement age, but this has led to fierce protests. There are other ways to reduce the dependency ratio, such as encouraging immigration of skilled workers and improving childcare provision to encourage more women to work. But these aren't enough.
A lot of this is about tweaking around the edges, and if you really think of the magnitude of the challenge here, the more fruitful thinking lies in a really quite a fundamental shift in how we think about different life stages.
Many people are already challenging these traditional attitudes to ageing. At an age when most would be thinking about retiring, 68-year-old Julie Ford has reinvented herself as an entrepreneur.
Hi Bridge, hi Nicola, how are you doing? I've been involved in health and fitness and I'm a PE teacher of 45 years.
Yes, let's get out in that fresh air.
And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I was physically still fit.
Two very important things, smiling and breathing. If you can only do one at a time, can you just please breathe?
Julie designed and built a training aid called InStep and runs workout classes using it.
Resistance training is the best for strength. Scientifically proven that moving with resistance is the golden ticket of exercise.
Julie is part of an online community called Rest Less, which helps retirees who want to keep working. It was set up by Stuart Lewis.
Everything we do is tailored to this demographic of people in their 50s, 60s and beyond. There's a wide range of life needs that people have, and we're trying to meet them across health, community and social networking.
Offering advice on jobs, pensions, further education and even dating, Rest Less helps people navigate one of the biggest transitions they will face in their lifetimes.
You've worked 45 years, 50 years of your life and suddenly you stop. Well, what do? It is very difficult.
You just need to look at the impact of someone who's been out of work for 2 years to see the impact on their physical health, but also their mental health. It's the same when you enter retirement. For some people, it can be quite a lonely and desolate time.
But extending their working life might not be practical for everyone.
People don't all experience ageing in the same way, and that's a really important thing to keep in mind. I mean, a starting point is, of course, what kind of job you did all your life. Well, not everyone can work until they're 90. That still doesn't take away the fact that in the rich world, 90% of people will now reach their 65th birthday, and most of them will still have plenty of healthy years ahead of them.
Encouraging people to make use of these healthy years could unlock economic potential that's being lost in retirement.
To make the most of this increasing life expectancy, to reap a so-called longevity dividend, you do need to make sure that you set the infrastructure up to make that possible. more flexible ways of tapping into, say, your pension savings, to employers taking a more open-minded approach.
So we're invaluable in society, and I think we should be used or made use of.
More flexible attitudes to retirement could help reduce the economic burden of increasingly elderly populations. But eventually, most people will need some form of medical or social care, and that is expensive.
A lot of countries just haven't really grappled with the need to set up a decent social care system. Social care used to happen a lot in the family. It used to be informally covered, as we would call it. There were always carers, but they were just unpaid carers. It's daunting because there are an awful lot of people that will need it, and it's a labour-intensive thing to do.
In many developed countries, when people can no longer care for themselves, a typical answer is to move them out of their homes and communities into residential care. But as well as being increasingly unaffordable, this model of care can fail to address the emotional needs of elderly people.
The rich world have taken a fairly reactive approach to care for the elderly. The traditional approach has been essentially warehousing people in nursing homes. The metrics of success have often been things like, has a person had any falls, have they lost any weight, or did they have any bed sores? And because they became the important metrics, the institutions started operating around those things. I think what's got lost in social care is a more community-focused approach.
In the Netherlands, an organisation called Buurtzorg is re-establishing this community approach to care. Ramona van den Arend is a Buurtzorg nurse working in Ede. Today, she has 3 male patients to visit, all with complex needs. Central to Buurtzorg's method is using local nursing teams who know the community and who are given real autonomy in managing their workload.
You work together as a group, as a team. And together you discuss what kind of tasks everybody takes in the team.
One of her patients today is 82-year-old Mr. van der Mient, who suffers pain from cancer in his ear. Managing her own timetable means Ramona can give him the special care he needs to stay living safely in his own home.
In healthcare, it's always changing how many clients you have, what is needed, how much time we need to spend at the clients. So it's necessary that we can take decisions ourselves.
Buurtzorg was set up by Jos de Blok, who had himself been a community nurse for nearly a decade.
So my idea was, we just start from scratch. And we just ask nurses to do what I think they should do. Not on protocols, not on products. Look at the problem and try to solve the problem in the most effective way.
The other key part of Buurtzorg's philosophy is setting aside time to talk to the patient and build a deeper understanding of their needs and aspirations.
I think the most important thing that when you come at the client's house, it's important to listen, that you take the time to hear somebody's story.
It might seem inevitable that spending extra time with patients would drive up costs, but in Buurtzorg's case, the opposite is true.
If we trust people and we ask them to do what they think is needed, then we use the capacity more effectively than we're doing now.
Separate studies by Ernst & Young and KPMG found that Buurtzorg delivered over 30% cost and 50% time savings compared with existing Dutch care systems. In a sector known for high staff turnover, it now employs over 10,000 nurses in the Netherlands and is operating in 30 countries. As well as being efficient, giving nurses independence also protects the independence of those in their care. Aging populations threaten societies with shrinking workforces, economic stagnation, and crippling costs for pensions and care. Simply throwing more money at the issue is not going to be enough.
From a societal perspective, I think we're missing the huge opportunity we have to help people age better, to live better lives.
Dealing with aging is an opportunity, but also a problem that keeps getting kicked down the road. We can't just keep postponing actually dealing with it or wishfully thinking that tweaking around the edges around the retirement age will fix it. It needs a much, much bigger, more fundamental rethink.
I'm Tom Standage, Deputy Editor of The Economist and Editor of The World Ahead. To read more of our future-gazing coverage, click on the link. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.
At a certain age, for many, their body starts feeling like it's falling apart. Medications pile up, doctor's appointments fill the calendar. Aging is inevitable. But what if it wasn't?
Great news about aging that probably most of us don't know is we actually have a lot more control over the aging process than we think.
Let's take a look at the latest science and how it might be possible to slow our own aging. According to Dr. Levine's upcoming book, True Age, we have two ages. Our chronological age, the one we celebrate at our birthdays, and our biological age, our body's lifespan.
Biological age can be defined as the state of decline or the state of divergence that your body has undergone as a function of time.
Lethargy, graying, balding, wrinkling, dementia, playing bingo. We know the symptoms of aging, but what causes it?
As we age, our cells change a lot of their states, and they can actually transition to different kinds of cells. One type of cellular state is what's called senescence. Various types of cells can convert to this, and a lot of people refer to senescent cells as zombie cells. That's because these are cells that, due to some stress, basically lose the ability to proliferate or to make copies of themselves. So they're no longer going to generate new cells. At the same time, these cells are resistant to death. When cells undergo some damage, one way to prevent cancer is that damaged cells are just going to commit suicide and be taken out of the body. But senescent cells, they remain in the body, so they're not dead, but they're also not proliferative. So this is why people refer to them as zombie cells.
Wait, aging might be caused by zombie cells within our own body?
Some people believe that senescent cell accumulation is the main driver of aging, that this drives the inflammation that we see with aging, which ultimately is driving the dysfunction that arises throughout our bodies. It's still debatable whether senescence is truly driving it, but there is some interesting experiments giving some evidence to this. So people can actually take cells and have actually injected them into mice. And what you see is that this actually can shorten the lifespan of a mouse. They're constantly excreting a bunch of pro-inflammatory cytokines and also growth factors. They can also make the neighboring cells prone to becoming cancerous. As more and more of these senescent cells accumulate in tissues, we see a lot of tissue dysfunction. People think that this is actually contributing to various age-related conditions that we see. The average 30-year-old chronologically is probably 30 years old biologically. But you have some distribution where you have probably about half of your 30-year-olds are going to be older biologically than they are chronologically, and another half, which is younger.
So how can someone find out their true age, their biological age?
Scientists have defined what we call hallmarks of aging, molecular or cellular changes that we see tend to track with the aging process. There's two different types of data you can use to estimate your biological age. One might be your clinical data, the basic lab tests that you might go get from your doctor's office.
This is basically what you're getting when you have a yearly physical and the doctor screens your cholesterol, thyroid, and glucose levels.
So you would get back your results and you could input it into online calculators that are already available.
Biological markers are one way to get a sense of a person's biological age. What's another test?
One that my lab actually studies called epigenetic modifications. This is not changes in the DNA sequence itself. It's the activity of genes. So something that's happening on top of the DNA. So it's basically turning off or repressing certain parts of the genome while activating others. In 2018, we developed one of these biological age measures based on epigenetics. We measure the amount of these chemical modifications at very specific sites on your genome to actually give you your biological age.
So, an epigenetic test is different from clinical blood work tests. Epigenetics measures the stuff attached to specific locations throughout your genome.
And by looking at this pattern, we can say to someone whether they have the biological features of someone who is actually the same chronological age as them, or hopefully like someone younger than them. We developed an algorithm that could be used to predict biological age as accurately as possible. Now, this is available to consumers. You basically have this tube here that you would spit into, fill it up to the line, and then put it back in the box, and it actually ships to a laboratory that's going to extract your DNA and measure these chemical modifications to your DNA, run it through the algorithm that we developed, and in a few weeks you get an email saying, here's your biological age.
But the trillion-dollar question for the medical industry is, can we reverse aging? In a Benjamin Button sort of way. Can you actually take people who have aged and actually revert them back to a healthier state?
Right now, there is not cutting-edge science for changing your biological age. It's really what your mother, grandmother, or father told you. Don't smoke, drink moderately, get a lot of exercise, although not excessively, sleep in terms of your quality of sleep, but also get enough sleep, and try and maintain low levels of stress from day to day. But there's a lot on the horizon in terms of what the scientific field is discovering. Maybe in the next decade or two, we might have therapeutics to slow the aging process.
Remember the zombie cells from earlier that many believe drive aging? One approach centers on removing senescent cells from the body.
Scientists have been really determined to try and target and remove these cells. There's actually a new class of drugs that scientists are testing called senolytics, which actually target what we call the Achilles heel of these cells. So the fact that these cells are resistant to death, so this is an upregulation of a certain pathway, they actually target cells that have this upregulation, kill them, and then they get removed by our immune system.
That sounds like an idea still on the horizon. What about a secret fountain of youth hack for today?
As of right now, there's no secret hack. There are places throughout the world that we call blue zones, which are these regions or hot spots of longevity, places where you have a much higher proportion of people who survive to at least 100. These places are kind of scattered throughout the world. There's one in the United States called Loma Linda in California, and people aren't sure why these blue zones exist. Perhaps these are areas where people have better health behaviors, or perhaps even less stress. There are definitely these shared nutritional habits of these groups. However, it hasn't been definitively shown whether these factors are directly responsible to the longevity advantage we see in these populations.
What about Dr. Levine? Has she tried to intervene to slow her own aging?
I have measured my biological age repeatedly over the last year. I ended up being younger biologically than I was chronologically, but given how much effort I put in, it wasn't really where I wanted it to be. So now over the next year, I'm really making an effort to be much more rigorous to see if I can actually figure out how to get that number even lower. We all know what our lifespan means, right? It's the amount of time you're going to be alive. But more important than lifespan is something that aging researchers call health span, the amount of time you're alive without any disease or without the onset of the physical impairments that tend to be associated with aging. So when we talk about intervening in the aging process, this is what we're actually trying to extend. We don't want to just keep people living longer in an unhealthy state. We want to keep them living longer in the healthiest state possible for as long as possible.
Thank you for your patient listening. So rather than talking more about problems, we positively looking for the solutions. So our focus is more on solutions, and these videos has positively given us some hope to handle this aging population and reduce the abuse that is being caused to them. participants quickly fill up the feedback form. It's being shared in chat box. For living, kindly fill up the feedback form. It's mandatory for receiving your certificate. Within 15 working days, your certificate will be updated on the website. You can download it from the webinar website. Thank you. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night. For leaving, kindly fill up the feedback.